If you give a standard memory test to an average 25-year-old and a 75-year-old, the results are predictably one-sided. The 20-something retains far more. But there is a rare subset of older adults in their 60s and 70s who completely break this curve. They routinely match and often outperform the 20-somethings on these specific exams. Dr. Hemang Shah, a board-certified neurologist and director of the Brain Health Program, refers to these individuals as superagers, and for the warriors watching his channel, they represent a biological goal. Most of society treats cognitive decline as a mandatory toll we pay for getting older. Superagers demonstrate that severe memory loss is not an automatic, biologically fixed rule. Because these individuals exist, we know that sharp, youthful recall late in life is possible. The question is how their brains physically pull it off. To find the physical mechanism, a team of researchers at Massachusetts General Hospital, Harvard Medical School, and Northeastern University conducted a landmark study in 2016. They tested the memory of high-performing older adults using the California Verbal Learning Test, and then, crucially, they placed them inside an MRI scanner. Instead of solely relying on written test scores to gauge cognitive health, the researchers mapped the actual physical structure of the participants' brains. If these older adults have the memory capacity of someone half their age, that ability has to be reflected in their neuroanatomy. The study divided subjects into 3 distinct groups: young adults in their 20s, typical older adults between 60 and 80, and the superagers, also aged 60 to 80. Looking at these brain maps, red areas highlight the discovery. Superagers maintained a thicker cerebral cortex than typical older adults. In the bar chart below, red superager data aligns exactly with blue young adult data, showing cortical thickness is statistically identical to a 25-year-old. The physical hardware of the brain in these specific zones has achieved full structural preservation. One of the critical zones preserved is the default mode network. Think of this network as the brain's vast library, the physical location where memories are consolidated and stored for long-term use. Within this network, the hippocampus acts as the central archive. These MRI scans show it highlighted, the large green area above compared to the shrunken red one below. As the scatter plot indicates, superagers retain robust youthful hippocampal volume alongside high memory scores. A lifetime of complex data requires a physical space to exist. If the structure storing the memories degrades, the memories themselves degrade with it. Memory also requires focus. The second critical zone preserved in superagers is the salience network, which includes the mid-cingulate cortex and anterior insula. This network acts like the bouncer at the door of your brain. The bouncer determines what gets your attention and executive focus. You cannot store a book in the library if the bouncer at the front door isn't paying enough attention to let it inside. This brain map shows both systems working together, with the salience network in blue and default mode network in yellow. Superagers showed fully preserved cortical thickness in this exact attentional network, granting them the motivation and focus of young adults. Exceptional memory operates as a dual system. It requires the physical capacity to focus on incoming data and the physical capacity to store it. The researchers at Mass General proved that while brain atrophy is common as we age, the biology of superagers confirms it is not mandatory. Dr. Shah focuses on translating this high-level neuroscience into practical lifestyle medicine for his community of warriors. While genetics are a factor, you can actively build structural resilience in your default mode and salience networks through rigorous physical exercise, metabolic health, cognitive challenges, and stress management. The physical destiny of your brain is not entirely pre-written. The daily lifestyle choices you make actively construct and protect its neuroanatomy. You don't have to passively accept cognitive decline. You can start building your own superager blueprint right now. Convert this understanding of brain structures into daily action by joining the Brain Health Program. You can learn the evidence-based pillars of lifestyle medicine directly at mybraindoctor.com and by subscribing to the YouTube channel at alz.prevention. Taking decisive action today is the only way to protect your memory for tomorrow. Stay sharp, warriors.